Good morning, cadets. Now we are going to discuss about the systems which are going to execute simple harmonic motion. Okay? As we have been discussing the examples, there are two examples. One is the oscillations due to a spring, and the second one is oscillations due to a simple pendulum. So we are going to prove that the oscillations due to a spring attached with a load of mass m on a frictionless surface. These oscillations are simple harmonic in nature. How is it? Let us see. We have already studied the spring system in the topic earlier of elasticity. That's there is a restoring force acting on oscillating spring, and we have studied the spring force acting on the oscillating spring is given by F is equal to minus kx, if you remember, where x is the displacement and k is the spring force, spring constant, and F is the spring force which we called as restoring force. Okay, consider the spring attached with the load. Suppose x equal to 0 is its equilibrium position and the load of mass m is stretched up to extreme position A and released. When it is in the released position, it is in motion. Now this is the position of the mass at any time t. So that becomes the displacement at any time t, and x equal to 0 is the mean position. And after reaching the mean position, as we have studied earlier, the block goes to the other extreme position, that is minus A, and it oscillates about this equilibrium position. This to and fro oscillations of the spring load about the equilibrium position between the extreme ends plus A and minus A are going to be simple harmonic in nature. How is that they are going to be simple harmonic? Let us illustrate, let us understand in detail. The spring force F is equal to minus kx, where x is the displacement and k is the spring force. The spring constant, where k is the spring constant. For a stiff spring, we have studied, for a stiff spring the k is taking high values, large values, and for smooth springs, soft springs, k value is lower. And here the x is the displacement. The x value is time dependent. It is varying between plus a and minus a. So here x is time dependent, which is given by a cos omega t plus phi. So the displacement of the oscillating spring is given by time dependent function a cos omega t plus phi. So since it is a periodic function and represents a simple harmonic motion, therefore the oscillating spring or the oscillations due to a spring are simple harmonic in nature. They are undergoing simple harmonic motion. The spring executes simple harmonic motion. Then the force law for simple harmonic motion. The force law for simple harmonic motion. We know F is equal to minus m omega square into x, where m is the mass and minus omega square x is the acceleration. Here this is m into a as a function of time t, A as a function of time t. A as a function of time t is the acceleration of the oscillating spring, where A as a function of time t is equal to minus omega square x as a function of time t. Both are time dependent. Displacement is also time dependent periodic function, and acceleration is also periodic in time t, and it is also a time dependent function which is undergoing simple harmonic motion. So acceleration also represents SHM, displacement also represents SHM. Is the time dependent acceleration of oscillating spring. So when you compare this m omega square x with the f equal to kx, then we write, therefore from the above equations, of force and displacement, from the above equations of force and displacement, we conclude that the oscillations due to a spring are executing simple harmonic motion. SHM means simple harmonic motion. So you see, it follows the force law, and it also follows the equation for displacement of a SHM. So from these two equations, f equal to kx or f equal to m omega square x and x equal to a cos omega t, we definitely say that the spring oscillations are simple harmonic in nature. Therefore, when you compare this, we state that m omega square must be equal to k. This implies m omega square must be equal to k, where k is the spring constant or force constant. Therefore, omega square is equal to k by m. Taking square root, we get omega equal to square root of k by m is the angular frequency of spring, angular frequency of oscillations due to a spring. Now omega is also equal to 2 pi nu. You can just mark it. Omega is also equal to 2 pi nu. Therefore 2 pi nu is equal to therefore 2 pi nu is equal to square root of k by m. That implies nu is equal to 1 by 2 pi. 1 by 2 pi into square root of k by m. So this gives you the frequency of oscillations. Frequency of oscillations. Of a spring, number of oscillations per second. So inverse of frequency gives us time period. Therefore, time period equal to 1 by nu. 1 by nu. Just take the reciprocal of this. It becomes 2 pi square root of m by k. This gives us time period of oscillation. Time period of oscillations. time period of oscillations. This spring force that is acting on this oscillating block, oscillating spring, is also called as restoring force. We have termed this one as restoring force, which has a tendency to bring the block always to the equilibrium position. Therefore, the spring force is also called the restoring force. And this restoring force is having a tendency to bring the block to the equilibrium position, and it is also, you see, it is also directly proportional to negative of the displacement. You know, from this we say that it is directly proportional to negative of displacement. So, since it obeys the force law for a SHM. What is that force law for SHM? Force acting on a oscillating body must be directly proportional to the displacement, and it should be in the opposite direction of displacement. So from these conditions we say that the oscillating spring, the oscillations of the spring are simple harmonic in nature, provided these oscillations must be to and fro about the mean position. We should not extend the spring to great extent. Please remember, we should extend the spring to certain extent. The displacement should not be too high. If the displacement is too high, then there will be permanent elongation in the spring. That will not give rise to simple harmonic motion. Please remember, even while discussing the oscillations of a pendulum, the pendulum bob should be oscillating for a small displacements. It should have a small amplitude. Here also, the spring which is oscillating about the mean position must have small amplitude, small displacements. It should not be stretched too much and tested for simple harmonic motion. If it is stretched to a greater extent, then the spring will lose its springiness. The restoring force may not be sufficient to bring the block to the mean position. Therefore, the extension that we carry on for executing simple harmonic motion must be such that it should have a small amplitude, not the very high, large amplitudes. Okay, then only we say that the oscillating spring or oscillations of a spring are simple harmonic in nature. So, to prove any oscillating body to be executing simple harmonic motion, two things should be observed. One is that its displacement must be periodic as well as must be sinusoidally varying with respect to time t, given by this form, so that the displacement is of the form of displacement of a simple harmonic motion. Second thing, that it should be obeying the force law. Force must be directly proportional to negative of displacement. So when force is directly proportional to negative of displacement, then we can write F is equal to m omega square x, where minus m omega square becomes equal to k, where k is the spring constant. This we have got from the knowledge of acceleration. You see, m equal to at. I think you got the point, because at here, a is function of time t. We have proved earlier is equal to minus of omega square xt. We have proved this. If you differentiate this equation two times, dx by dt gives us speed, and then dv by dt, speed, differentiation of speed with respect to time gives us acceleration, and then we get this equation. From this we can write, multiplying it with mass m, we get the force law. Force law is directly proportional to negative of displacement. That's how we prove that oscillations of a spring are simple harmonic in nature. Now let us solve the problems, one particular problem. Let us solve a simple problem. There is a spring. A 5 kg collar is attached to a spring of spring constant 500 Newton per meter. It slides without friction over a horizontal rod. This is a horizontal rod. This is a spring attached with a collar, and the spring constant of this is given 500 Newton per meter. It is sliding over the horizontal rod. The collar is displaced from its mean position by 10 centimeter. The collar is displaced from the mean position. This is the mean position x equal to 0 through a small displacement x equal to 10 centimeter. You can take a equal to 10 centimeter. Maximum displacement, that is amplitude, as 10 centimeter, and then released. When it is released, this oscillates to and fro about the mean position between plus a and minus a. And we know these oscillations are simple harmonic motion. They undergo simple harmonic motion. These oscillations are simple harmonic in nature. What is the time period of oscillation? Simple. We have just now proved that t equal to 2 pi square root of m by k. 2 pi square root of m by k. This is question number A. Just substitute the value of m and k. We get the value of t. See, mass of the collar is 5 kg. This is given. Mass of the collar is 5 kg. Just substitute 2 pi into square root of 5 kg divided by spring constant 500 Newton meter. So this gives us time period. So that's equal to 2 pi into square root of 1 by 100. So square root of 100 is 10. Therefore, time period of oscillation becomes 2 pi divided by 10. So we know value of pi 3.14. So 2 into 3.14 divided by 10. So that gives us 6.28. 6.28 divided by 10. So therefore, time period of oscillation t is equal to 0.628 seconds, or at the most you can take 0.63 seconds. So this gives us time period of oscillation. If frequency is asked to calculate, then you have to take just the inverse reciprocal of time period. Reciprocal of time period gives us frequency 100 divided by 63. Okay, that is the frequency. Second one is, what is the maximum speed? Okay, we know that when the spring is oscillating to and fro periodically, it executes simple harmonic motion, and we know the speed of oscillating spring. So using that, we can calculate what is the maximum speed, right? We'll write the equation for speed. We know that displacement of oscillating spring x as a function of time t equal to a cos omega t plus phi. So speed or velocity is dx by dt is equal to speed v is equal to dx by dt. When you differentiate this, it becomes minus a omega sin omega t plus phi. We have done this already. And similarly, if you differentiate once again, we get acceleration. A equal to dv by dt. Two-time differentiation of displacement gives us acceleration. So if you differentiate this once again, it becomes omega into omega minus omega square a into cos omega t plus phi. We have done already, just for our revision, and I am carrying out once again. So this is nothing but the displacement x. Now from this above equation, you are asked to calculate what is the maximum speed. maximum speed and maximum, second thing, maximum acceleration. Maximum speed, maximum speed, this is B. From equation V equal to minus A omega sin omega t plus phi. So this can be written as, this can be taken in a bracket. So this becomes the maximum speed, that is amplitude of speed. Therefore, I can write V equal to Vm sin omega t plus phi, where amplitude of speed Vm, that is V max, maximum speed. Maximum speed is given by minus omega A. So we have to take the, since it is a speed, so we have to take the magnitude. So magnitude of this minus omega A or A omega, magnitude of this, modulus of this is positive value omega A. So now we can substitute what is the value of omega and what is the value of amplitude. Amplitude is 10 centimeter. Here amplitude is the maximum displacement. When it is pulled, it is a 10 centimeter. Maximum displacement is 10 centimeter. That is equal to 0.1 meter. Now omega, since it is undergoing the simple harmonic motion, we have got it. M omega square is equal to k. Therefore, omega is equal to square root of k by m. Square root of k by m. If you remember from the force law, m omega square is equal to k. Therefore, omega is equal to square root of k by m. So k is given, spring constant, 500 Newton per meter. Square root of 500 Newton per meter. And mass of the collar, that is mass of this block, it is 5 kg. That becomes square root of 100. So square root of 100 becomes 10 meter per second. So that is the value of omega. 10 radians per second. 10 radians per second. Now we can calculate what is Vmax. Therefore, Vmax is equal to maximum speed is equal to omega into A. 10 into A is 0.1. So it becomes 1 meter per second. So that becomes the maximum speed. In the same way, we can calculate maximum acceleration. You see from this equation, maximum acceleration is given by minus omega square A. So this itself becomes am cos omega t plus phi, where A is equal to am cos omega t plus phi. This implies that am is equal to omega square A. So I can write here itself what is value of maximum acceleration. Maximum acceleration. Maximum acceleration can be calculated as am. Maximum acceleration can be calculated as am. Is equal to omega square A. That is evident from this equation. Again, it is just the magnitude value. So I am taking magnitude value. So the sign is negative. That is with respect to the initial position. Okay, whether it is minus omega square A or plus omega square A, that becomes the amplitude of acceleration. So amplitude of acceleration is always positive value. So we take magnitude of minus omega square A, that becomes the amplitude of acceleration. So omega we know, already we have calculated omega, 10 square into amplitude, amplitude is 0.1. So it becomes 10 meter per second square. So this is the maximum acceleration, which will be maximum at the extremities. Okay, so this is how we need to solve the values of time period, the frequency, angular frequency, then maximum speed and maximum acceleration using the given equations. So tomorrow we will solve one more problem on the calculation of the energies of oscillating springs, which we already discussed: kinetic energy, potential energy, and the energy curves, energy with respect to time, energy with respect to displacement. We have drawn the curves. Using those equations, we will be able to solve for energy values. That we will do in the next video. Okay, and then we will discuss the second system oscillating in simple harmonic motion. The second system, that example is the oscillating pendulum. There we are going to see that when the pendulum is just displaced by a small displacement, then it executes simple harmonic motion. Thank you. Have a nice day.